The city of Paris, France, has made public transportation free due to the insane amount of smog that their city has been facing over the past week or so. And as of right now, based on if the last number of your license plate is even or odd, then they're basically having some days where you're allowed to drive if your license plate is even, and then the next day, if your license plate ends with like the number that's odd or whatever, then you're allowed to drive on that day. And that's insane. I actually saw this on Twitter. It was trending, and I was like, "Whoa! They made public transportation free." I mean, I wonder why. And it was like a really bad reason for doing so. Now, my thoughts on this is that in a lot of countries, especially the United States, we have a car culture, and yes, the reason for smog is due to vehicles, the power plants, factories, um, you know, all sorts of reasons for pollution. And a lot of people, they don't really think about it until it affects their lives, and in this sense, is definitely affecting people's lives because if you can only drive your car if you have to work, I don't know, 20, 30 miles away, and you're only allowed to drive your car on certain days of the week, then that can put a hindrance in your life. But back to the car culture thing, in America, everyone has a car. Except in like the very large cities where there's, where you have public transportation, like in New York. If you live in the Midwest, South, even though, like, I would say even the West Coast, or actually, yeah, I would say the West Coast because I heard Los Angeles public transportation is horrible, but people have cars, and people are given cars when they turn 16, a lot of times by their parents, and there's an insane amount of cars on the road. A lot of people will drive very short distances, and a lot of cities, they're not very walkable, or the public transportation sucks. I would say in Akron, Ohio, that our public transportation system, which is basically just buses, is decent. You can get around from one point in the city, like, and then go downtown, and then go to another point in the city in probably like 50 minutes or whatever. But if you have a car, you can pretty much go from point A to point B in probably like 15 minutes instead of 50 minutes, and that's why people drive cars is due to convenience. Now, I think a way that we can improve the quality of our environment is by having vehicles that emit less emissions. A lot of people, they drive very large vehicles that are gas guzzlers. They emit a lot of CO2, and I think we have to like get away from that culture of thinking that our environment can be taken for granted because it's I've saw studies saying that we reached a point of no return, that basically the point of where if we would do a drastic change, then we can like reverse some of the effects we had on our environment has been passed already. So that's scary, knowing that my grandchildren or my great grandchildren might live on a planet that is damn near uninhabitable. So I don't know. I think the conversation of the environment needs to be at the forefront of governments and politicians and everyday people. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and have a nice day. Peace.